Hi, I'd like to share a bit about my financial journey, how I progressed, and the experiences I've had. I come from a middle class family. My dad was a government employee, and my mom was a stay at home mom. We were financially dependent on my dad, who wasn't exactly generous with money, so I decided to start working at 16. My first job was at McDonald's. They hired me as a hostess, but in reality, I was doing janitorial work. I swept, mopped, and cleaned tables. They motivated us with pins we'd wear around our necks. Looking back, those pins just showed who was willing to do everything for a small reward, which was pretty silly of me at the time. After that, I had 8 different jobs. Honestly, it was always easy for me to find work because I'm a responsible person who's dedicated, committed, and always tries to do things the right way no matter what. So I never had trouble finding a job, but I always had the same experiences. Limited money, always trading time for money, and not doing something I loved. It wasn't that I hated it. Usually they were administrative jobs. I realized that no matter how hard I worked, I'd always end up earning the same, and my salary was nowhere near my dreams. It had nothing to do with them. I lived with anger and frustration, exchanging time for money that was never enough. It meant my time wasn't worth much. I'm grateful for many jobs I had. I learned a lot. They made me stronger. I also started businesses, a phone distributor, a boutique. Obviously, both failed because I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I tried with the Virgie method that many know I now handle skillfully. So when I realized all this, when I started to reflect that there was no way for me to grow or escape my limitations, no matter how hard I tried or worked, I'd never become the owner of the place where I was employed. Then one day around age 30, I decided to take a leap and go independent. I became a real estate agent, gradually preparing and educating myself on many things. Truth is, I had great times and not so great times. Anyone in this field knows it's irregular income. Money comes in large amounts at times, but then it takes a while to come back again. This helped me become a good manager, but always with this underlying energy of scarcity, difficulty, and fear that another big chance might not come. Still, the truth is, I really did put in a lot of effort, worked hard, and found great opportunities. The last opportunity I found was becoming a representative of 12 companies outside my city, where I was in charge of home recovery, evictions, rehabilitation, sales, and everything related to credit procedures. I was doing well with good seasons, though sometimes no work. But this money from recovered housing wasn't pleasant either, as it came through others' pain. This caused me guilt and shame. However, it was abundant money, though intermittent. So this allowed me to move forward. Throughout this time, I always invested a large part of my income, whether as an employee or independent. I put significant amounts into courses, workshops, and books based on what I earned. I always had a strong desire to change and transform my life. I approached it from a place of rejection, not longing, making it hard to find the right path. There were times I did well, but it came with fatigue, struggle, inconsistency, fear, worry, and stress. Nothing was enjoyable, so I began searching, always reading, trying to understand and attempting to apply what I learned. Of course, progress was gradual as my awareness developed. My consciousness grew through life's ups and downs, afflictions, and major challenges. Before kids, I often allowed myself to fail, doubt, and give up. Often because I wasn't enough motivation for myself. But having children gave me strength and drive to face my fears, believe, and try. Taking risks was no longer optional for them. I've mentioned before, during the pandemic, I focused on recovered housing. Many government offices closed, ending my income possibilities. I had managed to buy 2 properties, but I couldn't feed my kids bricks. I couldn't sell them as everything was at a standstill. They were recovery homes. I found myself in a tight spot with no liquidity, but I managed. During this search, one day I asked myself a question. Why? Why, if I love this so much? Why, if I consider myself good at it? Why, if I've learned so much already? Why did I never stop studying? Why can't I make a living from this? Why not? And the answer was, if you did that, you'd be very happy, but you don't think you deserve happiness. That really hit home for me because I realized what I needed was to pursue my own happiness. The only way for me to be happy and make money joyfully was to work in what I loved most, giving consultations and courses. That was my wildest, most far-fetched dream I could have ever imagined. You know, being able to do what I do today was like dreaming of becoming a famous artist. It was like dreaming of being Shakira for me. So when I received that answer that I believed I didn't deserve happiness, even after having a whole career of studies, I decided to pursue happiness even in the midst of all the hardships. That is, even without money during the pandemic, facing uncertainty, fear, and so on. So I sought a professional solution through a loan to move everything forward. I'd learned that the best way to achieve your goals is to help others achieve theirs too. Then I decided to start giving financial empowerment sessions. I began doing it for free on Zoom during the pandemic. Suddenly, friends and their friends started joining, and it grew rapidly. Until one day, Zoom couldn't handle it. So I had to switch to YouTube to accommodate everyone waiting for me. I did it for free, happily but also nervously, as they were my first steps. On August 19th, I launched my YouTube channel, and as many have seen, my first video was terrible, absolutely awful. I felt incredibly proud for overcoming my fears and tackling the digital challenges. It was a huge triumph and I felt immensely happy. From that point on, I started broadcasting twice a week because it became my personal therapy, where I found joy in sharing all the insights I'd gathered over time. Of course, it's all based on the Yuen method, still the most effective tool I know. I realized money could be earned beautifully by helping others. I discovered that life is truly abundant and that we shouldn't work just for money, but for other meaningful reasons. Belief, conviction, love, and passion to share, contribute, and genuinely help others. That's where the value I needed to create my own abundance was being generated. I know abundance is everywhere because if it weren't, it wouldn't be abundance, right? Abundance is in everything, yet we always focus on that small point of lack, and that's where we put all our attention. And if we add to this the belief that we have no power, that it doesn't depend on us, and a ton of misinformation, perception, and interpretation about money and finances, obviously the possibilities of achieving it are nullified. If you want to learn more about this, my journey, we have the Abundance and Prosperity course. I won't sell you a magic button, tell you you'll win the lottery, or make your wallet suddenly full. I'll strengthen you, of course, and show you the path to abundance, but you have to walk it yourself. This means overcoming many things holding you back, related to your limiting beliefs about yourself and life. I'd be glad to share this if it resonates with you. Thank you.